Thomas needed to do homework, so he turned into a podcast. It's the Homework Podcast Show. Now here's Thomas. Anthony.
Boy, have you lost your mind, because I'll help you find it.
And Dawn.
Yeah!
Well, Thomas had to do homework, so we made a whole podcast about it.
And he's going to get an A.
Of course.
So I've gathered us here today to talk about funny
X-Mart
stories.
Okay. We all do work at
X-Mart
All work at...
X-Mart.
Mm-hmm.
I don't know if we're allowed to talk about it. There's a picture of
Mr.
our
Mike.
manager framed.
All praise him.
That's pretty much the highest thing in the room. He's above everything.
Of course. Well, he looks down upon us. Actually, when we originally got that, we were going to have it in a picture frame and then put a shot there every time we had a party, like he was joining us. Like that time I photoshopped him into the Snapchat photo, and it was very badly photoshopped. You could tell that he was lit up and we were all dark, because it was a dark room, and people still thought he was there.
Yeah, that was really funny.
You've been sending me those Snapchats all the time with him and...
No, that's not. That's Big Peach.
Oh, yeah, Big Peach. Yeah.
Big Peach.
I've been wondering who put that photo of...
You know, one day I saw a Big Peach in the refrigerator, and I went up to and I was like, "Hey, is that your Big Peach in the refrigerator?" He goes, "Yeah, man, it wasn't cold enough."
They just put him in, apparently. So, let's start off with you. I know you have an interesting gun story.
Oh, yeah.
Live in Texas.
So one day I'm working my aisle, and this guy comes up to me, and he asks me where he can find, like, the baby bottles. And I see that he has 2 guns on his hip, like one on each side. And I think that's way too many to have. But then I see how much ammo he's carrying, and he has, like, 8 magazines of ammo on him. And so I walk him over to where the baby bottles are, and... I ask him, I'm like, dude, what's up with this armory that you got on yourself? And he's like, well, I used to have 16 magazines, but my aim got better. And that's a literal occurrence that happened.
Well, I think really the only story that I have, that I can think of is, it's not even a story, it's a reoccurring customer.
Tiger Zord!
Oh.
Now, let me tell you about...
Tiger Zord!
See,
Have I met...
Tiger Zord!
You've seen her.
Probably.
Oh, is she the mean old redhead lady?
Yes.
Yeah, the one that we
And she's, like, short?
Mm-hmm.
She made me do so much work one day and then didn't even say thank you. But
Yeah, no.
Tiger Zord!
It's just, she's a weird one because she's, like, old. Like, at least, 65 or so? Yeah. And I don't know what kind of life she lives, but the lady obviously comes in...
X-Mart pickup.
Smelling bad, looking like crap. Wears cat shirts every day, too. But she holds her head up high like she owns...
X-Mart grocery pickup.
And she'll make our highest managers follow her around, talk to her, and get her stuff because she will threaten to call corporate. And before Sammy left, it was Sammy. Now it's kind of like... He's not putting up with that, though.
Yeah, made her upset.
Yeah, he was like, pretty much, you can go somewhere else and get your stuff because we're not bowing down to you.
He told her to go to Sammy at the new... Because Sammy's a GM at Dollar General now. Store manager at Dollar General. He's like, go to Dollar General and talk to Sammy.
which Dollar General?
Okay, so here's a funny
Xmart.com.
story. So when
Exotic butters.
this stepped down from toys, she went to go work at Dollar General as a store manager. Well, when the co-apocalypse happened,
Oh, yeah, I remember that.
Sammy was just doing his own thing. Well, she contacted Sammy and said, I want you to be my assistant manager. I don't have an assistant right now. They quit. Okay, so he said, fine. He hired her. 2 days later, she got fired for having somebody work off the clock. And then they just hired Sammy as the store manager.
Yeah, so he kind of slithered his way into the position. I mean, lesson learned, you don't have someone work off the clock.
Yeah.
Yeah.
I mean, that's just bar none.
I'm surprised that the person who worked off the clock actually did it.
It was her friend. So they were cool with each other.
Oh.
Then
So-
how did they find out?
I don't know. But basically, she would do
And
things...
I gotta be careful, because sometimes I'll, like, lend a hand.
Me too. Like, I'll be off the clock and just talking to him while he's zoning. And just out of habit, I'll pick something up off the floor. I'm like, ooh.
Yeah.
Gotta be careful with that.
Yeah.
Oh, you shouldn't even do that?
Technically, no.
No.
Oh, well, I'm gonna remember that, so I can just, like, drop stuff in front of my better friends and be like, hey, pick that up.
Looks like you gotta pick it up.
Come on, bro.
Don't pass
I'm
it
not
up.
on the clock.
Well, this one person said that their old store manager had a saying. It was like, if you don't want to pick it, kick it.
I kick it under the thing.
Yeah, actually, I mean, that's all safety anyway, so it doesn't really matter.
But actually, a lot of people technically work off the clock because they'll be on the radio. You're not supposed to listen to the radio or be on the radio if you're off the clock.
Oh, well, I wish someone would tell that. He's always got his walkie-talkie on so loud.
In the break room?
Yeah, on lunch I won't have my walkie on, but on break I surely do.
Yeah, because, well, you're still on the clock on breaks.
Yeah, sometimes I have to do things, so I'll have that on.
Oh, I have another story about management.
Okay.
Do y'all remember who was the manager before Josh? Like Smitty. Yeah, me.
Okay.
It was trash.
So me was the worst ever.
I've been told.
Probably
Eat this!
Junior.
Yeah, probably coked out 90% of the time. But
Was that what he was on? I was always wondering what he was on.
my biggest beef with him was that he was consistently trying to make me call him Daddy.
Daddy White.
Oh, yes, Daddy.
Wrong.
And this is not a joke. Because, like,
Eat this!
I came back there one day, and this was, like, my first or second week working there. And I was, like, working really hard. I was really tired, sweating. He comes back, and he's like, so, how are you holding up? You like it? And I was like, well, it's not too bad, but he keeps making me call him Daddy.
Daddy White.
Oh, yes, Daddy. Wrong.
And he just started laughing. This is the assistant manager just laughing.
What?
Eat this!
Was trash.
Well, do we know the reason why he was trying to call it? He wanted you to call him Daddy?
Daddy White.
Oh, yes, Daddy.
Wrong.
Yeah, like, as far as I could see, that was the end goal. Because, like, on his last day there, like, in the last 5 minutes of the day, like, I was avoiding him all day because I knew he would make some last-ditch effort to get me to call him Daddy.
Oh, you gods! My roast is ruined!
Daddy White.
Oh, yes, Daddy.
Wrong.
I would have purchased fast food and disguised it as my own cooking. Delightfully devilish, Seymour.
And he was like, come on, Thomas. He found me working my aisle, and he was like, come on, Thomas. It's my last day. I gotta leave in 5 minutes. You can do it. And he just kept bugging me the whole time. And I didn't do it. I never gave him the satisfaction. I haven't seen him since.
Okay, yeah.
I've seen him since.
They cut him, and then he went to, Cap 1 as a normal associate for, 2 weeks, and then he quit?
Yeah, well...
Or did he get fired?
No, I think he just transferred, personally. I don't remember, actually.
I don't think he works for Walmart.
Probably not anymore. I think his wife still does, that he cheated on profusely. With the hardware worker. That didn't last. I don't know. I don't even know where they're at. They're somewhere in West Texas or some crap like that.
Who?
I mean, West Texas is already bad enough.
Yeah, for real. Yeah, actually in Texas, so where we live at, all the way down south to Corpus Christi, Brownsville, all that, that's where everything in Texas goes on. But actually the whole west side of Texas, there's literally nothing going on there. It's actually all farmland and ranches. Because
Texas
in Texas
is New Mexico.
We own, actually in Texas, there's more private land in Texas than anywhere else in the United States. It's ridiculous how much private land we have.
I was driving down to Kaufman with my dad today, and he was like, if you take a look out your right window, you'll see the Star Ranch. And that goes on for a mile, miles that way, miles that way, miles that way. I was like, oh, okay, that's cool. And he was like, and if you look to your right, you will see the Star Ranch. And it goes on for this way for that many miles and the same that way. And I was like, whoa, they just put this highway down right here in the middle of this dude's land? That must have sucked.
Well, they had to pay him.
There's eminent domain where they can do whatever they want, but they have to offer him market price. They get appraisers to check out how much he should get based off of some sort of crap that they pull off in their head. If he doesn't want to take that, then they can just take the land.
Yeah, that happened to my dad. So he had 2.5 acres. They took a half acre when they expanded the highway over in Rockwall.
Yeah, I mean, they're going to find some way to shortchange you. It's like the same thing, actually, with my ex-wife's dad. He owned a shop over in, I guess it's kind of close to Oak Cliff somewhat, and he's been having that shop for years, but then they decided to take it and make it like one of those like rich kind of areas. So basically they were like, we're going to give you 2 years to move, and that's just on you. They literally gave him that. There was no ifs, ands, or buts about it.
That sucks.
Actually, his place now is like a beer brewery or something like that, but yeah, it just sucks how they can do things like that.
Hey, well, thanks for taking this time and talking with me.
It was an overall bad experience on my part.
Yeah, I also didn't want to do this.
Dun dun.